All right, let's get into it. Nintendo just dropped a massive new system update, version 21.0.0, and wow, it is packed with changes for both the original Switch and, yes, the upcoming Switch 2. We're going to break down everything you need to know right now.
No fluff, no long intro here. You know how Nintendo drops their directs? Straight to the good stuff. That's exactly how we're going to cover this. Okay, let's dive right in.
First up, let's talk about the changes you'll see the second you fire up your console, the home menu. Nintendo's been busy making your dashboard a little bit smarter and, honestly, a lot more convenient.
Okay, this one seems like such a simple change, but trust me, it's an incredibly useful one. Nintendo has finally added a super clear symbol to tell you if a game is a physical cartridge or a digital download. No more launching a game only to realize the card is still in its case across the room. We've all been there.
So when you boil it down, these home menu upgrades are really all about saving you time and a little bit of frustration. You've got those new physical versus digital symbols we just saw. There's now a cancel all button for when you get a little too excited in the eShop and need to stop a bunch of downloads. And for anyone with a new console or a bundle, there's a handy receive software icon that takes you straight to the eShop to grab your games. Simple, practical, and just efficient.
Next up, moving beyond just the home menu, Nintendo has rolled out a whole bunch of quality-of-life improvements. And these are those small changes you might not even notice at first, but they have a huge impact on how you use your Switch every single day.
This is where you can see some really thoughtful design. Adding friends is now easier because it'll suggest people you've been in game chat rooms with. They're also making data management more flexible. You can now download specific game data, what Nintendo calls virtual game card data, even with other online settings turned off. And this is a big one for anyone planning to upgrade. When you move from a Switch to a Switch 2, you now get to choose not to re-download all your software or transfer your entire photo album. That's going to save a ton of time and bandwidth. Okay, now for all you pro players and tinkerers out there, the people who love to fine-tune every little setting, Nintendo has added a few adjustments that give you way more control over your hardware and some accessibility options. Now this is a Switch 2 exclusive specifically for the new Pro controller. You get to choose between two audio modes. You've got stable mode, which is your go-to for a rock-solid, interference-free connection. But if you're a competitive player where every millisecond counts, you'll want to check out low latency mode to reduce that audio delay. The trade-off? Well, it might be a little more vulnerable to wireless interference. So you get to decide, do you want pure stability or do you want maximum speed? And this right here just shows Nintendo's continued focus on accessibility. The text-to-speech feature just got a massive speed boost, jumping from a 300% max all the way up to a new 400% max. For users who rely on this, that is a huge improvement. They've also given a little love to the Japanese predictive text keyboard, which now reads out character descriptions aloud. All right, a little bit of quick but important housekeeping. A few settings have just been renamed to be more clear. HDR output is now System Screen's HDR output, which makes it obvious it's for the console's built-in screen. Platinum Point notification settings is now the much more accurate Nintendo Switch Online notification settings, and stop charging around 80–90% has been updated to stop charging around 80–90%, which, let's be honest, gives you a much more realistic idea of how that battery-saving feature actually works.
So when you put all of these pieces together, what does it all really mean? Well, this update is about way more than just a list of features. It's really about unifying the entire Switch experience as the whole platform moves forward.
Along with all these specific features, Nintendo also included their classic line, general system stability improvements. But you know, this time, it feels different. These changes show a really clear commitment to refining and streamlining the user experience, not just for one console, but for the entire platform. It feels like a real strategic step forward.
And that is the key takeaway here. This update isn't just for the Switch 2, and it's not just for the original Switch. It's for both. It's all about making that transition seamless, making sure that no matter which of these two consoles you're on, you are getting one single, fluid user experience. This is how you build a true ecosystem. So there you have it. That's the full breakdown of System Update 21.0.0. It's a lot of small changes that really add up to a big step for the platform. Which brings us to the final question for you. Looking at all these updates, from the little home menu icons to the new transfer options, which change seems like it's going to be the most useful for you and why?